Any film that I do, whether I come up with the idea or someone brings it to me, I'm always looking for what do I connect with? You know, what is it really about? You know, what's the theme, the universal human theme? My name is Matt Ogens. I'm a director, filmmaker, which is to me just a word for I tell stories. I was always artistic and creative as a kid and would draw and be interested in movies, but I didn't know you could do that for a living. I went to college and studied business, and I was in the World Trade Center for maybe 6 weeks before I decided that's not what I want to do for a living. I didn't want to just create money for other people. I wanted to kind of build something or create something and make an impact. And around that same time, I started seeing films that were coming out and documentaries coming out that were not what I grew up with, not Star Wars and E.T. and stuff like that, like edgy, dark stuff, authentic stuff, and by diverse filmmakers from around the world. And that's when I knew I could do that, and I just decided I'm going to be a filmmaker. One night, I was coming out of a music venue called Tipitina's, which is pretty famous, and I got held up at gunpoint with a buddy of mine. And at the time, New Orleans was the murder capital of the country, so it sort of inspired me to go make a short doc on violent crime through the microcosm of New Orleans. And I went to a prison, an infamous prison called Angola, and that was my first documentary, and I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of went by gut and figured it out, and that was my film school. Confessions of a Superhero? Been a while, it was my first film. Let's see.
Hollywood is a place where dreams are made and dreams are broken. Everybody and their mother wants to go out for that lead role.
So I had only recently moved to Los Angeles. Like anyone, you're driving around exploring, and you drive by that stretch of Hollywood Boulevard and Highland, that one block, and I'd always see these characters, these people dressed up as characters of, you know, different famous movie characters, superheroes. I had a curiosity, I wanted to know who they are. That's how it started, and 2 weeks later I was filming. My DP had a camera, borrowed some sound gear, I was directing and holding the boom, and we just went for it. And I think just felt like maybe in our guts, not so much literally, that there'd be an audience because we related to it. Being on Hollywood Boulevard, a lot of Saturdays and Sundays and holiday weekends with one of the most dense tourist blocks in Los Angeles, they were really on board. I mean, like anything, the process is gaining enough trust that that they'd be vulnerable on camera, let us into their lives, let us into their homes, physically, but also emotionally.
You haven't been back this way real quick. We can zip off into that way. We're starting to put some posters up in here. This is going to be like a poster and action figure room. We got a lot of action figures on the walls and stuff here as well. How much would I guess it's worth? I would probably say that we're probably sitting close to $1 million or more.
You know, what their trauma and conflicts are, what their dreams and goals are.
A doctor saves lives, but is he remembered? People in the entertainment business are forever here.
It's the money and it's the fame. That's all what it's about.
We're out there trying to sell ourselves to the media, the public.
I'm dealing with real people that aren't actors, some of them with some mental health issues, going through dark stuff. And there was certainly a darkness with Max.
My name is Maximus Batman Allen.
I mean, I think before we even started filming, he had already been arrested a few times. He was tough. Yeah, he could turn on a dime.
Batman behind bars. It's been a bad day for the Caped Crusader, who's become the latest Hollywood street performer to end up.
You can't ask for a tip. And Max sometimes didn't get a donation or didn't like the amount, and he would get aggressive with a tourist, and that led to an arrest.
Patrol cars and is spending a little extra time in jail.
When Max went to therapy, one, had no idea he was going to show up in a Batman costume. I didn't ask him to do that.
Oh, Bruce Wayne, we meet again.
How you doing, sir? Nice office. How you doing, sir?
It just didn't occur to him not to go see a psychologist wearing a Batman outfit.
Batman, well, let's just say Batman is kind of has a lot of suppressed anger, for one thing. Yeah, a lot of skeletons in the closet, let's just say.
And then in that, saying that, basically confessing to a murder. This isn't something he had ever told us before, and worked for the mafia in this story, so we were learning about it in real time too.
Have you ever hurt someone real bad?
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Like to the hospital and then some? Or?
And then some. We won't. Well, they've already, I've unfortunately left a body count between now and so.
Did you believe that?
I mean, that one I'll say I didn't. I think that Max is, again, we all want to be someone, and we see it on the news with tragedies, unfortunately, a lot. People go about it in the wrong way, and I think that's what he came up with. In some ways, each of them chose who they dressed as for a reason. They made that decision. And you might argue that they related to the character they dressed as. And it was really apparent really early that Chris Dennis, who dressed up as Superman, was kind of a leader out there.
Hello, citizens. Welcome. You got to remember there's a lot of do's and don'ts as a superhero. But if you abide by them, you do okay.
He's the one I connected with and saw first. He was so interesting and complex, and he came to Los Angeles to be an actor, and he loved Christopher Reeve and loved Superman, and found an angle when he wasn't getting roles to still sort of be a performer and express himself.
Afternoon, citizens. For Christ's sakes, put on some clothes. Oh, that's right, I'm using my X-ray vision again.
It was very hard to get him out of the costume. I'm like, hey, if you don't want to, you don't have to wear the Superman outfit all the time, whatever. And he came and he was wearing like a suit. I'm like, wow. Halfway through, he unbuttoned his shirt. He was dressed as Clark Kent. The Superman outfit was right below it. That was his identity. Of, when we were talking to each of them, like, hey, how vulnerable, open, willing are you? And sort of assessing that. And Jenny, who played Wonder Woman, was an open book. She came from small town in Tennessee, very religious family, and tells them, hey, my dream is to be an actor, and I'm gonna go out there and take a chance. So I wanted the audience to see where she came from, and that contrast and juxtaposition to LA.
There's like a population of between 2,000 to 2,500 people. My grandpa is the judge of the town. My dad's a minister. My mom and my aunt run the Union Farmers Co-op.
I really like Joe, played the Hulk. There's just something that is so sweet about him. He's almost like an innocent boy that still has his childhood. And you have that scene that he showed us where he used to live and sleep outside. He was homeless.
This is the old area. I remember late night, midnight, me coming to get some sleep. And I would head this way, right here. is where Joe McQueen slept. Right here. Wow. I guess it's nothing now.
What was important for the scene and what I really felt as a human was him having the trust and feeling safe enough with me after enough time filming with him to take us on this journey back to where he used to live, which was on the streets, you know, in the back of a building. That's what meant the most to me. It was less the content and just his willingness, his vulnerability to show us.
That's like my alarm clock, you know, like, oh, he would say, okay, get up, time to get up, you know, like, but, wow, things change.
So this is sort of a hero moment for all the characters, and we wanted to elevate them and really turn them into the superheroes that they dress up to be. So we really got leaned into craft and composition and even the locations. And I think this was me trying to find my voice a little bit, trying to find my vision and what my style was gonna be, the beginnings of it at least, where, you know, I can compose some things and set some things up almost in a narrative way, but to still create a feeling and an emotion through that. Yeah, they got to play in these spaces and we talked about it with them. It wasn't like I just said, hey, show up. Like, we went and scouted, we brought them, we looked at it. What would fit your character? Oh, I like that wallpaper there, you know what I mean? Jenny's like, oh, I like that couch in that weird 70s room. And we kind of did it together a little bit. When I see people, I used to think, what's wrong with them? And now I ask myself, what happened to them? What are they going through? And as a filmmaker, that's what I try to do in life and in documentaries, is what is that person going through? I've made features, I've made some shorts, I've made doc series, I've done a narrative. I mean, my last film, Audible, that was nominated for an Oscar this year, was a documentary short. And, you know, it's whatever fits the story, you know what I mean? It's not so much a goal, it felt like a feature to me because I'm following 4 characters and that felt organic. And, you know, maybe not consciously, it may be what attracted me to the project. It was soon after I moved to LA. I did a film about people trying to make it in Hollywood, as I was. And so, yeah, I certainly connected with that chase for the dream. But underneath that is just regular humans that, you know, feel and have sadness and happiness and joy and dreams and trauma. And I related with that also on a human level. When I was a kid, I felt kind of misunderstood and an outlier, and a lot of my films are about, what they're really about is acceptance and belonging. It's coded in our DNA to not get kicked out of the tribe since we were cavemen, to want to belong to something, to be part of a community. Because you may, on the surface, see someone say, oh, look at that crazy character or person wearing a Superman outfit on a Hollywood boulevard for a living, and think that you have nothing to do with that person. But when you get to know them, you know, we all have dreams and goals and hurt and trauma, and I bet you could find something that you connect with in one of these characters, no matter where you come from.